Welcome back to the Fitness League, helping busy humans build strong bodies, sharper minds, and better lives. Join us each week as we cut through the noise, challenge the norms, and empower you to train smarter and live stronger. In this episode, we have a nice little surprise for you guys. We just got a new feature launched, but first, we're going to take it full circle. The new feature is challenges, but we have not always felt like challenges were such a good thing to your health and fitness journey. So we're going to talk about where we started, why we started there, and why we are now obviously big fans and what that actually means. So we'll dive into all that. We'll preview the actual feature because it is not a standard challenge. There are some nuances to it that we believe are going to take your results to the next level. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back, Fitness Leaguers.
Welcome back. Welcome back. We are excited. And I don't know about your DMs, Joelle and Josh, but my DMs has everybody asking, what is
Where
happening
is it?
with the app? It's October 27th. So
Guys, we still have a few days. Give us some time, okay? Be patient.
why don't we, let's just be transparent here and kind of share what's happening along with the challenges because we're super pumped about that.
Like the challenges of the challenges. What do you want me to share?
Yeah, just, give everybody
An update.
An update as far as what's
An
happening. And I know we can't exactly still say when it's happening, but just I think transparency is needed here this week.
I was just having a little fun with the play on words, challenge on challenge. So we have been pushing. We have, I think, if you guys are new here, we've talked about it 1,000 times. But if you're returning, you know we've been talking about this literally like a 30-year plan. We have so many ideas, and this platform is going to explain to us which direction it's going to go, and that's really through you guys, what you're vibing with, what's working well, some things you don't need. So the immediate launch plan was to take the features that we have, just the core version 1 of the Fitness League app, and get it out to you guys as fast as possible. So that's going to include trackables, so think daily habits, some performance metrics, some biofeedback. So basically any variety of things that we would work on with our one-on-one clients in regards to like a daily check-in, a whole bunch. We probably have 75 to 100 individual trackables between habits and all those different subcategories that you can log on a daily basis. See your overall adherence for the week. See the reminders. You'll get your trend reports once we get into version 2 of the app, but it is storing all that. There's machine learning happening on the back end. So that was one component, was the trackables. The other side was a robust workout library. So program library. We have some the same monthly programs in the current app, the SDE Method app. We brought those over to the Fitness League, and those will continue to be updated on a monthly basis, the same way they are in our current app. But we also have some standalones. So let's say, maybe your schedule gets shifted and you don't want to jump into one of the recurring. We'll have something that's structured a little bit differently or maybe a little more fun. Like, for example, we've got this pump program where if you're like, I haven't had a great pump in a while, you can go focus on a crazy pump for the next 4 weeks. We had some requests as well, so we'll have some athletic programming in there. We're going to continue to get feedback from you guys and figure out what makes the most sense to build for those one-offs, but the core staples will stay there. We have a workout library on top of that. So that's kind of a program database. You can search by category: strength, running, powerlifting. We're working on implementing rehab, prehab through one of our partners, Active Life. They're getting some stuff over to us. So I'm inputting that stuff. Then an actual sub-workout category. So there's another tab for workouts. Basically, you'll see maybe some mobility flows in there. You'll see some ab workouts. You might see an arm workout. So if you had like an additional day, or maybe you can always train 3 days a week and then sporadically you can get that 4th day in, you're going to have a one-off workout. You could just jump in there and log. One of the coolest things that I did not think was going to be so cool, and we're actually going to build a new feature in the training side around this, is the ability to log your own workouts. So we do have this exercise search function. You'll see the entire library. We have this really cool filter where you can tap on some pills up top, and the logic will say, all right, if it has these things in here, show me all the exercises. So for example, if you wanted to pull up a chest and tricep exercise, it would give you everything related to chest and triceps. Rehab work, you could see all those. Mobility work, you could see all those. Or you could just search for whatever your actual workout is. If you want to log it in the Fitness League app so you can start getting data in it once we build out that V2, you can do that as well. You just search it, exercise pops up. You can tap to log weight, reps, and then intensity metrics based on whatever's correlated to that exercise. I actually use that for my one-off runs right now, so I'm no longer following a running program. I'm doing my regular lifting program, and then I'll search like outdoor run, and I'll log how many miles, how long it took me, and then my average heart rate. So that's always calculating in there. So a lot going on over there. You can also see your full history, exercise history, workout history. It's all organized nice and pretty. This isn't, I guess it's kind of a feature, but like a sub feature of the challenge is friends. So this is actually a social network, and we're going to be building that out going forward with some really cool stuff. But right now you can search people and add them as friends, so you can then invite them to challenges. But the big one we've been waiting for to finish up, to be able to push this live to, or request to go exclusive audience live, quote unquote, this external beta phase to Apple, has been the challenges feature. So basically being able to invite your friends, up to 10 friends, to a challenge, set or select specific metrics that you guys are going to be competing on, and then seeing this really cool leaderboard update as you go. So I don't want to break that down yet. We're going to talk about the challenge feature toward the end of this episode. But that's our general update on what we've been doing and trying to get finished. That is up. We now need to test that, which we're doing right now. Like we got it yesterday. We've been throwing some bugs into our cards list here last night and into this morning. I've been diving through a handful. So we're going to get those resolved, get this submitted to Apple. Once we get that approval, you guys will get the notification. So we'll let you know how you sign up. We'll let you know what this is all going to look like, but it will be a notification in the app. We'll probably post a banner that lives within the app. I believe we can send push notifications, so we'll try that functionality. If you don't, just keep an eye on your email as well and actually look in the app dashboard. So I believe those are the two of the three main places. We're going to post it in the Facebook group. We'll send out the email blast. So if you're listening to this episode, just to be safe, make sure you click the updated TFL waitlist link. Make sure you get your email and your phone number on that link, and we'll make sure that you're the first to know, and then that app specific notification. So fingers crossed, we are not out of time. It can still happen, I think, by the end of October. More likely, guys, I want to be fully transparent. It's not likely to happen this week, but we are very, very close. We're talking about an approval and just making sure we're linking up your subscription with your app access. So it's not out of the cards. The team is sprinting. They're running.
We can assure you, none of us are sitting around just like twiddling our thumbs. This has been
not what we're doing.
Balls to the walls for so long, and we're in this final stretch that is like, it feels like the last few weeks of pregnancy where you're like, could be today, could be 3 weeks. That just like terrible, wonderful, like exciting, terrifying, all the coexisting emotions at once feeling of like, could be today, could be tomorrow, could be in an hour, and we are doing everything we can that is in our hands to get this prepped and ready for you guys, and the rest of it at this point is up to the dev team and Apple. So, and
we can't thank them enough. Just I know they listen
everyone's
to this,
been amazing.
And they're in the behind the scenes, they're listening to these like, oh, they mentioned this, maybe we should build this out, and they brainstorm all that. So that is the absolute dream team, and we are so appreciative, and they are hustling right now to make all this happen. So want to give them some love, but that's where we're at.
Yeah, I just wanted you to explain that because I feel like there are a lot of people who, are excited about the app and obviously in our DMs all the time, but don't really know what it takes to like launch an app. And to be honest, like we didn't really know either.
Yeah.
So, you do have to
This was
submit
supposed
to
to
Apple.
launch last January, guys.
Yeah, we thought it was just going to be a few months.
Clearly,
but, it's a process. It's a process. And I think, we're not just trying to string you along. We're trying to, be as open. We're as open as we can be. Like we know the same thing right now. So we promise that you will know and it will be clear how to get in as soon as the minute it becomes available for you to get in.
So our original plan when we're referencing last January was basically to replicate what our current one-on-one software was, but in app form, it's pretty basic, but just built into an app. So it was more user-friendly. And when we saw the possibilities of what we could do, we knew we couldn't stop there. So it has been a bit of a zoom out. What else can we do? What's most important to deliver? How are we going to change the world from the get? And we are so excited. There's always going to be a learning curve. So I want to temper my expectations a bit. I do get super excited about this project and the things that are going to come in the very near future. But Man, I'm so proud of how hard this whole team has worked and what we have, even like from the version 1 that you guys are going to be getting very soon. It is going to be it's not going to be open in the App Store. So there is going to be a specific procedure to get you guys in. And that's what we'll be sharing with you when you get that notification. There'll be very specific instructions. But even just what's in there right now, I sit back and I look at it, I'm like, wow, like this doesn't exist anywhere else. It doesn't, as far as functionality, what it does, what it's going to do, what it's doing on the back end, and we're going to be building in for you guys in the future. And just the way that it looks, it is so pretty. And I look around, I'm like, there are not many apps that exist like this. And I hope I'm not just kind of drinking our own Kool-Aid at the moment. And you guys are going to validate that or, give me a severe wake-up call. But I'm beyond excited. And you guys have seen, the clips. We posted some clips as
People are excited.
Yeah.
We're really excited.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So anything you guys want to touch on app side before we circle all the way back? Take this journey?
No. You just kind of covered it, but I just wanted to add that when this goes live, it's still not going to be live to everyone. It's going to be live to like our Facebook group, our podcast community, our true like loyal supporters who have just kind of been riding this wave with us all along. Like it's going to you guys first. And that is super, super intentional.
Hey guys, real quick. If you haven't heard yet, the Fitness League app is launching soon, but only to our current audience. That means if you're listening right now, you'll get exclusive early access. To lock in your spot, just click the link in the show notes and join the waitlist. No spam, just the important stuff. And in case you forgot what it is, this is the app built for busy humans who want real results without the burnout. It's not another fitness tracker, it's a movement where every rep earns rewards, every habit builds momentum, and every workout levels up your story. Train smarter, compete with purpose. The Fitness League is coming soon, where your journey becomes legacy. That said, I believe, unless we do a last minute pivot, we're going to let you guys refer this to your immediate family and friends. Like we aren't going to be marketing this hardcore. We're going to be launching it to you guys. And the whole point of that is to make sure that we get good feedback. And if there's anything that we missed in our internal beta, that we get that addressed before we go full scale. But it's already built to scale to millions of users. We just want to make sure the actual usability is delivering the way that you guys need it. The point is, you guys have been here. We want your feedback, not kind of mixed feedback from the entire world just yet. You guys have been here from the beginning. Some of you that I've had conversations with have been here since the Excel days, like the original monthly email send out. And this whole journey is for you, and you guys are going to help us. We're all doing this together. You are all the Fitness League. We're going to change the damn world. So that's the goal here. But this is kind of an interesting story as far as like how this all came to be, even like going from Fit Coach Pros, the original concept, into this, but to zoom all the way out. Like we have talked some serious smack on the concept of challenges just because of the unsustainability, and you use it for marketing and it's sexy. Like, so why don't we touch on that for a minute? Where have these challenges started, and why did we all have such a bad taste in the beginning?
I think we have to go back to like fitness, like Fitspo era of like, way back in the day. Like that's all that there wasn't really coaching yet. Like a lot of the fitness, online fitness, social media stuff you see started with challenges. Like I think of the bigger names back then were like, Paige Hathaway, Katie Hearn, like they all started with challenges. That's just what people did. It wasn't coaching. It wasn't anything like one-on-one.
Like a 6-week challenge.
It was a 6-week challenge. You bought like a PDF download. Like this was like way back. So I feel like it's almost, that's where online fitness started in a sense. And when we entered the space, like I think we even did like 6-8 week challenge. It wasn't even a challenge at the time. It was like, here's our 6-week plan, an ebook you can download. So we've been there and we've seen that it doesn't really work when it comes to long-term sustainability.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think challenges started with the best of intentions in that way of like, how can we like rally people around this and get people moving and like maybe have this sense of community, which a challenge can potentially offer depending on like if there was a Facebook group that went along with it or something like that. And I think in a way they started with really good intentions and then transpired into something that so many people already struggle with, which is starting and stopping and starting and stopping and starting and stopping and starting and stopping. And I think what we started to see as fitness professionals was that people would then become these like challenge hoppers, where they would do a challenge and then they're on the couch for 6 months, or they do a challenge and then they'd be completely inactive for the next 8 weeks. And then they do a challenge. And I think we started to see that it wasn't leading to long-term success or the long-term success that people wanted. It was maybe getting them moving for a short bout. But the nature of a challenge typically is not like behavior change based or consistency based. It's typically like, hey, here's these things. It's going to be hard. It's going to be rough. Like I think of like 75 hard, which I know people want to argue like, it's not a fitness challenge. It's a mental health, whatever, mental toughness challenge, whatever. We're going to call it a challenge. It's a challenge. 75 hard is a challenge, right? And if we think about 75 hard and you think about the metrics of it, nothing is like all that extreme. It's like reading a book, following a diet, whatever that is, drinking a gallon of water, I think it's like 2 exercise sessions that have to be outside, or like 1 has to be outside, but you have to do 2 exercise sessions a day.
2 45-minute sessions, 1 has to be outside.
1 has to be outside. So it's not inherently specifically that 75 hard is so extreme. I'm just using that as kind of a common example of people do this thing and it's 75 days in a row. And if you miss a day or you miss something on a day, I believe you have to start back at day 1, right? Like it's like you screwed up, you start back at day 1. And I understand that in some capacity. I also find it problematic in other capacities, but that's a story for another time. I think that overall we have started to see the challenges of challenges, as Josh said, the drawbacks of challenges, and where they can serve people when done well, when done properly, or what we're deeming as properly. And they can also be really unhelpful for people when we talk about what those detriments are, or kind of being this sprint and not really teaching anybody anything. And then you're just like following these habits, and then the challenge is over and you're like, okay, what do I do now? Now what? So, we have certainly revamped our take on challenges. And it's funny to even call it challenges. There's nothing else to call it. Like what we have built in the app, the actual feature, like it is a challenge. And we will dive into that, in a few minutes, but it's so much different in my head than like when you hear a fitness challenge on Instagram. This is nothing like that, in my opinion.
Do you guys, Joel, you mentioned the challenge hopper. Do you think that programmed everyone's brain to become a program hopper? Like the Instagram workout swipe through, like this is just how fitness works. They got into fitness through a challenge that they saw, and then we went through into the social media age where we've got a shorter attention span and there's random programs on here. Do you think that planted a seed for some of these inconsistencies we're seeing now?
I think it's multifaceted. I think it probably planted a seed. I think people also probably still have a little bit of confusion about like, oh, you have to shock the muscles, or like muscle confusion. You have to change up your workouts if you want to see progress. I think there's probably still a little bit of that happening. And I think people also get bored and like their attention spans are low. Like how many people, even with our 4-week blocks, that are like, I have to repeat these workouts 4 weeks in a row. And you're like, that's nothing. Like that is such a small amount of time to even allow yourself to see progress. So part of it, I think, is lack of education, and people just don't know that they can and should be following a program for a more extended period of time.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, unfortunately, that still is something that people are educating as like, this is what you should do, when it's completely incorrect, but maybe it worked for them, or maybe they just have like insane genetics, or they're trying to sell a program. It's like they're going to push whatever narrative they want to push, and unfortunately a lot of these people have massive followings, so people just start to believe that that's how you see progress. Oh, she looks really great, I'm going to follow her program so that I can look like her. And it kind of just spins you into this cycle of doing really intense things for a short burst, and then it's like, now what do I do? But you start to believe that that's what fitness is, and that's the key to seeing progress, when we know it is far from the truth.
I think also one last thing that I'll add is that typically with challenges, because they're kind of like a short sprint, like that might be a 4 or 6 week challenge, I feel like when I think of challenges, something that comes to mind is like drastic transformation pictures. And you might look at some of those from a coach or fitness influencer who might be posting some of those transformation photos. If I'm a consumer, I'm looking at that and saying, wait, you went from that to that in 6 weeks? Sign me up. Kind of unknowingly, that person was in a very severe deficit for that sprint of time. And you don't know how they felt during it. You don't know what life looked like for them after it. You don't know if they gained that weight back and then some. The coach isn't sharing that picture or that story. They're just sharing, when we put this person on 2 hours of cardio a day for a challenge and on a 1,200 calorie diet for 6 weeks on a challenge and had them strength training 5 days a week, this is what they looked like by the end. And it's like, great. That person was probably miserable and also probably gained all that weight back and then some. So I think transformations are also one of the things that started like looping people into like, yeah, you just got to do this challenge and like hit it hard. And that is not our idea of like a challenge that's actually sustainable and breeds consistency.
One of the biggest struggles that we have, even just as a coaching company at Levolution, is that what we do is not sexy in the least. It's, the draw of these challenges is the transformation you guys just talked about. And it's fun because it's so hard and I have to commit to this. And it's only 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, the short period of time. So I can struggle through that and I'm going to see incredible results. I might not feel good, but I know there's an end date. The problem with that, as you guys alluded to, is that once you stop maintaining the protocol, you stop maintaining the benefit, you stop maintaining the results. So as soon as you revert back to what you're doing before, you physically revert back, you mentally revert back, you performance-wise revert back. If we are building things in that way, we see this up-down roller coaster throughout the entire year. What we preach, and part of the L5 method, is sustainable habits and doing things that fit your current phase of life. And it sounds so soft and it sounds so fluffy, and it's like, oh yeah, that's not going to work. But it does. It just takes, the immediate results are shorter, which sounds backwards, because if you zoom out and look 12-month differences, the person who took the sustainable approach is going to be light years ahead of the person who lives off these challenges, because that person sees the progress very quickly and it falls off just as fast. So they might lose 40 pounds and then they gain back 60 or 70. And then you repeat this cycle over 5-year loops. It's like, well, why are we all struggling so hard? Because you never found the thing that you could continue doing on a daily basis. Forget the 6 weeks. What can you do every single day, no matter what? No matter what life throws at you, what can you do every single day? It's not run 5 miles. It's not max out your deadlift. It's not slash calories by 2,500 and then go back to eating 4,000 calories when you're done. It doesn't work like that. And it's not a healthy way to do it. You're going to lose a ton of muscle doing it that way. It's just there's a lot of issues, and that's why we call these shortcuts and band-aids, because you're creating more issues and you're just setting yourself back. The 6-week challenge that you just put yourself through, if there's no offboarding plan, if there's no off-ramp, you just wasted 6 weeks and then probably another 6 weeks recovering from the first 6 weeks. So now you're 12 weeks behind. Now what? The person who was slow and steady might have only lost 6 pounds over those 12 weeks. But they're getting stronger and they're sleeping better and their stress is down and they're feeling really good and they're not going to gain that rebound 15 pounds.
Yeah, they're gonna sustain that progress longer than the person who just ran themselves into the ground.
Classic story of the tortoise and the hare. Like, it's not sexy. It's not fun. You hate hearing this. You're probably listening to this, hating hearing it, but it is the only way.
So Josh, how can we make challenges fun? How can we make challenges sustainable? Is there a way to do that?
You unmuted. Do you want to jump in first?
Well, I was just going to say, I think we've hammered home why we dislike challenges, why they don't work, why all the negatives to challenges. And to sort of start spinning this in the other direction, I think one of the other reasons why we're still seeing so many people do these crazy challenges out there today is, like you said, Joelle, because of the transformation photos, and they see it as a short-term thing that they can go really hard on. But also it's the community, and it's having that, just a group of like-minded friends, people in it with you, other moms, other parents, other people who are just like you doing the thing. And I think that's another aspect of challenges that a lot of these other businesses and influencers and people kind of pull people into with, because we all want that. At the end of the day, everybody wants to feel included and involved in something bigger than themselves. So if you can be a part of this community while also getting crazy results, like that's just a win-win. And I think that's something that we have really tried to lean into hard with TFL, because we know, I mean, even us, like we have missed that over the years too. And yeah, we have our amazing one-on-one clients, we have the app community, but it always kind of felt like there was just a piece of the puzzle that was missing. And I feel like the way that we've gone about this, and maybe Josh, you can dive into that, it fills that void completely. And I'm very excited about it.
Well, for everything we've talked about with like the negatives of the challenge concept, some of them can, like you guys said, be spun into positive. So the community, 1,000%, but also just the challenge. Like it, I don't know that I've seen anybody go viral for a sustainable challenge. I think there when we put our blogs up, doing a little research, there may have been a couple on TikTok that I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's like this, just show up every day. One was like a 30-30-30, like go for a 30-minute walk. Honestly, I forget what they all were. Might have been, anyway, they were softer quote unquote challenges. I'm not going to dive too much into it, but there were like 2 for the 10,000 that have already existed. It's sexy to market. You're excited to get into it. The community is great. So how do we build on those components to actually create lasting change and to do things that's actually going to change your life for the long term and leave you better in every aspect of your life? It's not going to take away from family. It's not going to take away time from doing the things that you love, but it actually makes everything else better. Like, how do we lean into that? How do we pull the coaching philosophy and like morph that into this challenge aspect? Listen, if you're tired of the all or nothing cycles, the diet starts Monday, the I know what to do, I'm just not doing it feeling, we should probably talk. Our one-on-one online coaching isn't just about workouts and meal plans. It's about building something that actually fits your life. No cookie cutter templates, no guilt, just real coaching and real results. Plus, we've got a pretty big team, so we can even pair you with an expert who actually understands your lifestyle because they've gone through it too. If that sounds like what you've been missing, check out the link in the show notes to apply for coaching. Then we'll send you the link to book a free, no obligation consult call with our team. There are no hard closes. We won't even take your credit card over the phone. You'll get the details to sign up on your own time. And more good news, we are in fact qualified for HSA FSA reimbursement. One last thing, we even offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. What are you waiting for? Spots are limited, so apply today. All right, let's get back to the show.
I think one of the coolest things that we have done with this feature, and I'll let you ramble on about the feature as a whole, Josh, but one of my favorite parts about this, which is actually something that I was like not sure about at first, and now I'm really excited about it, is that there's a ranking system and a point system within your challenges. You invite friends to do a challenge with you. And something that's really interesting, and we had to think long and hard about how we wanted to rank this and do this point system. Like, are we rewarding people for getting the most steps, or are we rewarding them for consistently getting steps in? And we decided to go the consistency route. And I think that in and of itself is a huge differentiator from the way that we are doing challenges, because we are rewarding points for consistency instead of just doing the most. So in for example, if you sat on your couch for a week straight and then on day 7 you got 50,000 steps in, you're actually not going to be rewarded as much as the person who every day just got their 8,000 steps in. Because we are out here trying to reward sustainability and consistency, because those are the types of challenges that are going to yield you the results that you want. And when we first went that route, just for like a little bit of background, I was like, I don't know, like kind of cool to like be able to do nothing and then like jump on a 1,000-step run, walk, whatever, and like earn those points back. And it's like, actually, that really goes against everything we believe in when it comes to coaching and fitness and ourselves. It's about consistency. It's about doing a little bit at a time. It's about doing the small stuff over and over, doing the mundane, doing the stuff that works, but is the boring stuff, not the start, stop, start, stop, start, stop.
It's also a way to level the playing field. So you might have and there's a couple different levels to that, which I'll dive into, but you might have a cousin who's an expert runner. They're phenomenal. They've been running for years. Maybe they only run 2 or 3 days a week, but they go super far. If you just show up, do a mile or two, 5 days a week, you have a fighting chance in that specific category. because on their off days, they're not earning those bonus points. So that's why there's a little bit of nuance to this, and you want to be strategic with the metrics that you're going to select. So I guess I can start there and I'll circle back. You want to choose things that make sense. So you can log whatever you want in your trackables. It doesn't necessarily need to be in your challenge specifically. The challenges are things that you want to show up and do every day. So if it's a couple weeks, maybe you are throwing cardio in there and you're just going to grind through it. You want something a little more tough. Like spin this however you want. You guys have full creative freedom. Do whatever you want, challenge whatever you want. But kind of lean into, for the majority, things that you're going to be doing every day. So that's the first layer. The second layer is, okay, you've got this elite athlete, cousin, uncle, brother, whatever it is. Well, it's not just the performance stuff. One of those metrics could be how many pages you read, or how long you read. It could be how much time you spent outdoors. So think about the things that you've wanted to do. I'm never consistent with that. I know it would be so helpful, and it's really, I could do this, but I just don't. What we're trying to pull from the benefit of a challenge is that dopamine rip that you get from checking that box and getting rewarded and seeing that reward and seeing your ranking and seeing your points accumulate. So anything you can track as a daily trackable, the things we talked about in the beginning of this episode, time with loved ones, time outdoors, morning sunlight, sauna, cold plunge, overall steps. We also have, they're called Booleans, I believe. It's yes, no toggles. So we have thresholds. Did you get to 7,000 steps? Yes, no. Did you get to 8,000 steps? Yes, no. So you can select one of those specifically, and then you don't get additional points. You're not rewarded for going above and beyond that. You're rewarded for just doing that. So choose different things that you think will either be super fun or that you've been wanting to do in your group of friends or family. Like, oh, we wanted to read. We want to get into this thing. We're never consistent. Reward it. Create a challenge for it. You can select up to 5 metrics. So you can mix and match. You can say, one of those is push-ups. One of those is steps. One of those is reading. One of those is time outdoors.
Can we also mention that it was very intentional that we made it so that you could not add 20 things to your challenge?
Yep. You don't want to overhaul everything. And, if you want to do a couple challenges with a couple different friends group, that's fine. But even ourselves, like we got so excited when this app launched us to start testing that we're like, oh, you know what? I'm going to track 12 things. And at that point, I'm like, I don't want to track 12 things. So I scaled it down to like 4 or 5. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. And I'll just rotate through. Once I get those things down, I'll pull in another group and I'll start focusing on other things and seeing those adherence metrics. But to get back into the rankings and the scores, we're coming up on time here a bit. So you've got those up to 5 individual items. You could choose one if you want, whatever you want to do. You're going to get points for each item. You're going to get ranked for each item, and you're going to get an overall ranking. So let's kind of break all that down. You'll see where you stand on steps. You'll see where you stand on push-ups. There's 2 different screens you can toggle to. You just tap over. The most difficult aspect of building this out for our team has been what Joelle was talking about before with it is not doing the most per se. It is showing up consistently. So every single day, you reset on the metric. And every single day, there are a total of 100 total points available. Not per person. There are 100 points available. And the amount of points that you receive for whatever you did is based upon your quote-unquote contribution. And it's a competition, so that word makes it a little, I'll clarify in a second, makes it a little gray. It's your contribution toward the total amount of work performed. So if one of the metrics is outdoor walks and it's calculated by distance, if your entire team, let's say there's 10 of you, your entire team walked 10 miles outdoors today, your percentage, what you specifically did of those 10 miles, is the amount of points that you get. So 10 miles are walked, you walked 2 of those miles, you get 20 points. Because your 2 miles were 20% of the total, you get 20 points. Here's where it kind of looks like a race. If you guys ever watch like motocross or NASCAR or whatever it is, a race, kind of watching the leaderboard throughout the day, you're going to see your number go up and down and your rank might go up and down. So let's say you're the first person to log and you walk 2 miles. You're going to get 100 points right off the bat. You're the first person to put that in for the day. But then Aunt Susie, she also walks 2 miles. So now it's 2 and 2. Well, your 100 just went down to 50. So now you're at 50 and 50. And then as more people log, it's going to continue to recalculate. And then you'll see your ranking by the end of the day when everything has settled. Those are also, and this is where This is where the math gets above my pay grade. Those are also correlated into your overall leaderboard. So you're going to see leaderboard per item, where you stand, how many points you have per item. But to keep it all level for the overall competition, there's another, whatever it is, formula that pulls it into your 100 total points available for the day, your overall total for the day. So of all those metrics compiled together, you might be first in steps and third in push-ups and fifth in pages read. And then your overall ranking is third out of 10 or out of 5 or however many people are in your group. So it'll update. The leaderboard's going to update as you guys all log your metrics. But the point, again, is that we reset every single day. You can't show up once and go do 1,000 miles, because that's still, maybe that only gets you 80 points. And then tomorrow, if you don't show up, you get 0. So it's about consistency. It's about setting that baseline, and the things that you can choose to log within your challenge are entirely up to you. It doesn't just have to be performance. This is meant to better your entire life, to make these lifestyle changes, these long-term habits. So that's the rough overview of what challenges look like. Did I miss anything?
Inviting friends, bringing people in for free.
So that's not going to be beta launch. We'll have the freemium tier built in for our full launch.
Okay, I take it back.
So right now, if you're currently in the community, if you're currently in the current app, we're going to have some benefits for you guys jumping over first and being here with us along the way, which we'll share. But we're not launching, this beta launch isn't launching with freemium. You will be able to have that access available to you once we do the full launch, a little closer into the new year. Were you jumping in?
I was just going to say, hypothetically speaking, let's say one of our OG listeners here tells their friend who's not currently a member of the SDE Method app that, hey, this new app is launching. Here's the link to go on the email list. Is that friend getting access to the app?
Yeah, I hit on that. They can share the actual sign-up link. So it's going to be...
So, there you go.
Yeah.
If you have some friends or family that you know you want to do challenges with, there you go.
Tell your friend.
Tell your friends. So fingers crossed. We're nearing the finish line. Hopefully Apple overlords don't throw us any crazy curveballs. This is fun. We've been in it for about, we had it yesterday, but the challenge started today. So we've been in it for about, 6 hours or so. And it's fun. It's fun to see the points. It's fun it just all looks so good. I get excited about that stuff. But we will have more to share with you guys soon. Again, make sure you are on the waiting list. We updated the link. So if you want to be safe, you can jump into the new one. If the page looks different, just input your info there. I have the old one, but if you're not in, just hit the link in the app description, in the show notes over here, and we will make sure that you are the first person to know when there is access and what that looks like, how to get in there, what the details are. So we're going to wrap up this episode with a reminder that change doesn't happen in one big moment. It's built in the ways you keep showing up. Take what you learned today and build the best version of yourself for tomorrow. Where can they find you?
I'm at Alessandra Skutnik.
At Josh Skutnik.
And everything
Joelle
else you
Samantha.
need. Oh, Joelle got.
Sorry, there was a major delay on my end. Like, did you guys skip me?
She's
it,
here.
Froze. It froze for a second, and then I heard Josh jump in. I'm like, what just happened? I'm not here.
I waited 4 seconds. I thought I missed it. So we're going to wrap it up with that really clean wrap up. That's at Joelle Samantha. Everything else is linked in the show notes. We will catch you guys in the next one.